satire. And what I thought was really cool about it is that it does, speaking as the white guy watching the movie, it does for me what they're doing to the white characters in the movie as you're watching it. Because there's a scene towards the end where you get to what the real heart is and how this makes black people feel.
Yeah.
That I thought, wow, they just did to me watching this movie. That's how they built it up through the story to this moment, so that I will take this moment as seriously as the character on screen who's getting told this would take. And I thought that was really well done.
Yeah, I had some problems with it. I thought it was a little loosey-goosey to me. I thought it would be even more biting, I guess, I was looking for. But
kind of like American Fiction?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So,
okay, so for me, I gave it a B. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but I also like the actress. She's an Asian American actress. It was the first time I'd seen her. I thought she did a really good job.
She was wonderful in that.
And Justice Smith did a good job, starting out as kind of just a pushover and then building up and finding his voice.
And David Alan Grier is always great.
So that's the American Society of Magical Negroes, and that is in theaters. Well, Steve, as we hear at we're here at My Hearing Centers. I had three thoughts that all hit my brain at the same exact time.
Uh-oh.
And I said a word of each of the sentences. So let me get that straightened out. We're joined by Matt Deering from My Hearing Centers, where we're broadcasting live today. And we've talked about how KSL listeners will get a chance to try out the Signia Charge and Go IX hearing aid. We've talked about why, what hearing can, getting hearing corrected, the things that it can improve that you didn't think it could improve. But let's talk a little bit about the Charge and Go IX hearing aids themselves here, Matt. What is it about these hearing aids that makes them so? Why would people want to try these out?
Well, I'm going to start with just the look of them. I know this is hard to see because we're on radio.
You can hold it up to the camera.
Hold it up to the camera. Well, for those that are watching from home, that's fine. Just don't need out the boot. They're tiny, discreet.
Oh, yeah.
They fit right behind your ear, has a small, it's actually a cable. It doesn't look like it looks like a tube. It's actually a cable that goes up in your ear, and inside the ear canal is where we put
the satellite dish,
the receiver.
It's a mini satellite.
It looks like a little satellite.
Yeah, that's actually a little silicone piece. If you do have allergies to silicone, we have other materials as well, but that's a little silicone piece that just holds it in your ear.
Right.
All the little holes in that silicone piece allow all the natural sound to go into your ear just as you're used to it. And as it passes that receiver, we just amplify the areas where you need a little additional listening help. So you get all the natural sound that you're used to, and then we just get that clarity right through that receiver as it passes through your ear canal. And it all happens seamlessly. There's no time delay, so you don't hear. It used to be that you'd put hearing aids on and you'd hear kind of a tinny sound or a robotic sound. That was the time delay between when the sound was hitting your eardrum naturally and when the sound from the device was hitting your eardrum. Well, we fixed that. There's no tinniness, no robotic sounds. And it's the most natural sound that you're going to have with this brand new hearing aid.
And you don't have to replace batteries on these.
Those are fully rechargeable. Yep, that's what this little cool little packet that looks like a iPod case is. It drops in that charger, and then after a night of charging, you've got 36 hours worth of being able to hear and discern and understand the things that you understand. Additionally, the charger can be removed from the wall and taken with you. Has 3 additional days of charging within the charger.
So you could be away from electricity for 6 days and be able to get your hearing aids to work for most of that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, at least for about 4 to 4.5 days of that.
So
sure.
A camp out, for example.
A long weekend on a camp out, a short cruise, visiting the in-laws, and just you can use it as an excuse. Hey, it's time to go. My hearing aids no longer work.
4.5 days is all I can take.
That's all I can do.
But this Charge and Go IX, it's each generation of hearing aids, and as we've talked with you over the course of the years, you've had some really good ones, but it's amazing how much more each generation can do than the previous one, and not that much time difference since the last generation.
It always blows me away. We've got a great team of engineers and developers that are always trying to think of what else can we do, and there's a laundry list of things that these hearing aids can do, but the one that I am most impressed with is this real-time conversation enhancement. This is now the first time where the hearing aids themselves can track where the sound is coming from, and it will follow it, so that if it's speech, it will continue to magnify it. So if a person's walking around, I don't know, say you're in the kitchen preparing a meal, and the person you're talking to keeps moving around, gathering things and preparing things, you're going to be able to understand and hear them without having to keep turning your head and looking at them and tracking them with your ears.
You'll probably still turn your head just out of it.
You might, yeah, you will, but you don't have to.
Out of muscle memory.
Yeah, that's right. Or if you're in a noisy situation and the background noise is moving around, it's going to keep turning that background noise so it can enhance speech.
And that, as weird as it is, that's where you'll actually have an advantage with the hearing aid over somebody that doesn't have them, is that ability for the hearing aid to do the parsing and blotting out some of the background noise to focus, whereas it's hard, your brain can't necessarily do that.
No,
for
your ears aren't meant to do that. That's when we're I don't want to say bionic ears, but man, it's getting close to bionic ears that we're giving these people.
And the stigma is over, I think, because we got ear pods for every different occasion. Who doesn't, maybe they just think your ear pods are, sticking out or whatever.
Dude, actually, just going to be so discreet, they're not going to notice
know
them.
it's there.
They're not even going to notice them. And but you're right. And for you to understand and see that, for your listeners to really understand and see that, obviously we can't show this to you on the radio, so we're inviting you into the office. We're going to do a free hearing evaluation. We'll let you look, touch, play with, put the hearing aids in your ear, try them out for 30 days risk-free.
I was going to say, and that's the thing, and you've said this before, it'll change your life.
Yep.
So make an appointment to get your life changed for the better. 801-701-1629. 801-701-1629. First 50 callers who call today and get an appointment will be entered to win a free set of Signia Charge and Go IX hearing aids.
When the weather warms up, it's like a stampede, except instead of dust stirred up by hundreds of hooves, it's a cascade of phone calls to Advanced Window Products. This is Jeff Kaplan. Soon as the sun shines and the snow's gone, people want new windows and frames from Utah's #1 custom window maker, and the wait for installation grows longer. But right now, you can get near the front of the line by calling for a quote and get $2,500 off when you purchase 10 windows or more. That's on top of the incredible savings for the highest quality double-pane windows and frames, any style, any color. See, at Advanced Window Products, they actually build the windows here in Utah, they install the windows, and they guarantee them for life. There's no middleman, and they can pass the savings on to you. They even offer buy now, pay later. So get in before the wait grows longer and get the $2,500 off. Get your new windows this spring. Make the call. Advanced Window Products, 801-850-9100. That's 801-850-9100. Or visit AdvancedWindowsUSA.com.
Any Hour Services free furnace sale is going on right now. If you haven't scheduled your free estimate yet, do it now. Call Any Hour Services today or schedule online at anyhourservices.com.
Sign up for KSL text alerts and you could win cash. Text the word cash to 57500 for a chance to win $250. That's cash to 57500. Plus, you'll get breaking news and traffic updates right to your phone. Want to win more prizes? Text contest to 57500. Jazz fans, text the word jazz for breaking Utah Jazz news. And Cougar fans, text BYU to 57500 for the latest on the Cougars. Message and data rates may apply. For an alternate entry method and complete contest rules, go to KSLNewsRadio.com.
Stop and think just for a minute. If right now your home comfort system went ka-flooey, which is not a technical term really, but you get the idea. Who would you call?
Oh, my mom?
Great idea for some support and maybe some mean banking advice. But Mom's not exactly an expert on heating and cooling.
My brother?
Yeah, remember what he did to your bathroom sink a few years ago when he said he knew everything about plumbing? No? Correct answer is Call Climate Services. And here's why. Call Climate has been around for over 25 years and features Lennox products and Kohler generators, the finest names in home comfort. So if it's a big kaflooey and requires a system replacement, you're in the right hands. And if it's more of a smaller kaflooey, their repair work is outstanding. Call Climate understands heating and cooling better than anyone. So start at callclimate.com and learn about their quality team waiting to serve you. From repair to replacement and installation, callclimate.com.
This is Derek Miller speaking on business. Recruiting Connection is a woman-owned full-service recruiting firm that works to connect top businesses with the most talented candidates in the market. Managing Director Cody Johnson joins us with more.
Since Recruiting Connection was founded in 2003, we have been able to impact both the local Utah market and national markets by placing thousands of candidates with over 750 Utah companies. Our competitive advantages include our proprietary recruiting practices that we call the RC Way, our vast network, and our incredible team of experienced recruiters. We are in the business of truly changing the trajectory of the companies we work with, and we get to change the lives of candidates in the process. Our full-service recruiting team not only searches out the best talent out there, But we get to know you and your business so you get the perfect fit for your company. As businesses, our greatest asset is our people, and our passion is to connect top businesses with the best talent out there. At Recruiting Connection, we help you find the right people because the right people get results.
As headhunters, Recruiting Connection focuses on clients' needs and works to help recruit and deliver best-in-class talent to their businesses. For more information, visit their website. I'm Derek Miller with the Salt Lake Chamber, speaking on business.
Movie reviews and Hollywood news. The KSL Movie Show.
Before we get to the movie show top 10, let's review Irish Wish, starring Lindsay Lohan.
Hi, Mom. I can't help but think that things would be different if I had told Paul how I felt.
You're gonna have to start speaking up for yourself.
It's too late now. I wish I was marrying Paul Kennedy.
What the? Oh, Paul?
So Irish Wish has Lohan in, where else? Ireland, at her best friend's wedding, but it's to a guy that she had feelings for. That was the Paul that they named in the clip.
Yeah.
But when she wishes out loud that it was her marrying Paul, suddenly it comes true, and she is the one getting married. But like most movies where wishes are granted, it doesn't go like the wisher wishes.
Well, that's pretty much sums it up. Boy, there's so much cheese flying through this film. I just like, there is some cool
You started
scenes.
taking up wine drinking?
No, well, I think the name should be Irish Whiskey Required.
That's fair.
To make it through this movie, because wow.
I kind of felt like this is like rom-com for beginners stuff. It's safe. It's TVG. It's rated TVG. So
Really, G?
it really is rated TVG.
I didn't think anything got G anymore.
Yeah, this one is so harmless that it got rated TVG. And it's, what I liked, I like watching Lindsay Lohan. And she was Lindsay Lohan in this. And she's starting to look, I'm starting to get more used to her slightly plastic surgery altered face. And so it's kind of nice. I liked her back in the 2000s, and it's kind of fun. But again, this is not, I'm not going to lie, I actually sped up some of it.
So they talk like chipmunks?
No, they don't go that fast.
Oh.
But, I was looking at how much time I had left, and I was like, I feel like this scene I could watch at 1.5 speed.
Okay, two
Thanks
things
to Netflix for that,
Two
by
things
the way.
that I did love about the scenery was gorgeous. Those
It
cliffs,
was, yes.
cliffs of whatever the heck. And the fact that they had a little Triumph TR4A and that they drove around in was so cool.
Steve's box art. I liked the car they had in this
car was
rom-com.
incredible.
So that is Irish Wish, safe for all ages. For me, this was a C-.
It's a C. I give it a C.
Oh, that's generous of you.
Well, because most people are going to see it or just want a simple love story, and that's what
and it is. It's simple and a love story.
Yep, that's got both of those.
That is Irish Wish. So let's do the movie show top 10.
10, 9. The KSL Movie Show Top 10.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, Steve. Movie show top 10. We've got, where did it go? Where's our, there it is. The Chosen final episodes.
7 and 8.
Hits the top 10, number 10.
And it made $7 million, so good on it.
That is pretty good. Actually, wait, hang on a second. Yeah, no, that is the one. Okay. And then number 9, we didn't get to watch this one, YOLO.
Yeah, this is the one where the little Chinese girl has a fight with her sister, and then she goes off on her own and becomes a boxer. She's kind of a plus-size girl, so it's supposed to be a comedy, but she's pretty good at the boxing stuff. So
okay.
It's called YOLO.
All right, and then number 8, Migration. I cannot believe that is still in the top 10.
It has made almost $100 million in 12 weeks, so it's been a slow cooker. But
I mean, that's been in theaters for 3 months. Movies don't stay in theaters for 3 months anymore.
I know. Well, this one did.
Well, it makes you wonder what Kung Fu Panda 4 is going to do. Number 7, Madam Web. I'm a little surprised that is still in the top 10, to be honest. But hey, it got a shout out in the Oscars. Did you catch that?
Oh, yeah.
During John Mulaney's monologue thing.
Oh, Mulaney was so funny.
Because Madam Web was why they invented sound for the movies, so that we could hear lines like, he was with my mother when she was in the Amazon researching spiders before she died.
Yeah. That was dumb.
Number 6, Ordinary.
But actually, it's made some good money. It's actually close to $100 million.
Uh-oh, we're running out of time, Steve.
Okay.
Ordinary Angels, number 6.
Good.
Bob Marley, One Love, number 5.
Good. I couldn't understand it.
Cabrini, number 4.
Excellent.
We liked it. Imaginary, number 3.
You saw it.
Dune Part 2, number 2, and Kung Fu Panda 4, number 1.
Yeah.
That is the Movie Show Top 10.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
It's 12 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Dan Bomas. KSL's top story this hour. The wind's slowing down today, but the Utah Department of Public Safety still has some tips for staying safe while it's blowing. KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston has more.
One of the dangers Utah Commissioner of Public Safety Jess Anderson mentions is that the wind could tip over a semi or other tall vehicle. That can happen according to night transportation trucking at 60 miles an hour. But Sergeant Cameron Roden with the Utah Highway Patrol says there were none of those incidents last night. Strapping down patio items is also a must according to Anderson. But that danger declines as the day moves on.
For more safety tips and a report on this storm's aftermath, you can check KSLNewsRadio.com. Alabama Senator Tommy Tuberville is in Utah today, endorsing Senate candidate and Riverton Mayor Trent Staggs. Tuberville joined David Dujanovic this morning.
From our debt to their borders to the crime to foreign relations, the only guy that can get this turned around is President Trump, and Trent is a big President Trump guy.
Tuberville says Staggs will put America first, like the former president. Your money at this moment, the Dow Jones average down on the day now, 184 points. The NASDAQ down 133. And our KSL weather, it looks like that wind is going to keep up for a while. That's next. KSL News Time, 12:02.
Bigger stories demand more accountability, more experience, more trust.
If it's like an election day or we're expecting some bad weather,
KSL presents the story, unbiased.
it's a good local source.
We have you covered at KSL News Radio.
My wife and I both, we ended up mildly sick for a few months, and the nasal congestion was probably the worst part. I had like a post-nasal drip, just super congested all the time. We were taking everything we possibly could, but nothing really worked.
Kyrie was miserable until a friend recommended Navage. Navage offers immediate drug-free congestion relief, flushing your nasal passages with refreshing saline and sucking out mucus, germs, and other airborne irritants. Don't live in misery this cold season. Use Navage so you can breathe easier, sleep better, and feel your best right away.
The biggest thing Navage has done has completely cleaned out my nasal passages. It was from the first use. I was able to just clear out anything that was stopping me from breathing correctly. Navage helps me clear the way, literally clear the way for me to operate better in the rest of my life.
Experience the Navage difference yourself. Navage is available at Navage.com or at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, and Rite Aid. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E.
Advertising used to be simple. Your options were radio, TV, newspaper, and let's not forget the yellow pages. Now it seems like a tidal wave of options. Podcast, cable TV, streaming, OTT, CTV, audio networks, smart speakers. On top of that, you need digital marketing for your website along with SEM, SEO, display, video, YouTube, email, and all the social media platforms. Look, you're the expert in your business. Wouldn't it be nice to have an expert to market you? We are Bonneville Salt Lake, the local marketing and media company you know and trust. We reach customers across all digital and social platforms and have the reach of traditional advertising available as well. We find your customer anytime, any place, anywhere on any device here in Utah or anywhere in the world. We work to optimize your results with our in-house local team of experts, providing you with qualified leads, not just impressions. Contact Stephanie Palmer at KSL for a free consultation, including a complete digital audit with no obligation or cost to you. Email spalmer@ksl.com. That's spalmer@ksl.com.
Any Hour Services can help unclog any drain in your house, whether you have a backup, a clog, or a slow drain you want fixed. Call Any Hour Services or visit anyhourservices.com.
From The Simpsons to Spider-Man and Mission Impossible to Men in Black, Danny Elfman has composed some of your favorite film and TV scores. March 22nd and 23rd, hear his iconic musical stylings as the Utah Symphony performs Danny Elfman's Percussion Concerto. In this highly anticipated concert, the symphony is joined by one of the greatest percussionists in the world, Colin Curie. Prepare to be amazed as he jumps from drums to xylophone to vibraphone and more. Tickets are going fast. Get yours at utahsymphony.org. On March 29th and 30th, hear a violinist at the top of her game. International competition winner Serena Huang is making her debut with the Utah Symphony, performing Dvorak's Violin Concerto. It's one of his most popular pieces, but so difficult that it's only attempted by the top violinists. Feel the energy in your limbs as the violinist's bow dances across her strings. It's monumental, dramatic, and selling fast. Get your tickets now at utahsymphony.org.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Here's Ricky Meese.
Good speeds on your Salt Lake County freeways. We do have an accident northbound I-15 in Sandy. It's about halfway between the Southtown Mall and 90th South, out of traffic on the right. Also, a lane closure. This is on the ramp from eastbound I-80 to go northbound on I-215's West Belt. Don't miss the Rocky Mountain Gun Show, March 16th and 17th at the Mountain America Expo Center in Sandy. Get 500 rounds of 9mm ammo for just $95. RockyMountainGunshows.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Our KSL weather. Strong winds continue today and tomorrow along the northern Wasatch Front, but not at the same level as last night. Otherwise, dry weather in northern Utah with additional rain and snow in the south. And right now, we're 48 degrees with sunny skies. I'm Dan Bomas from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
It's the KSL Movie Show.
They won't fear it until they understand it, and they won't understand it until they've used it.
The week's big movie review, movie news, games, and prizes. Here's Andy Farnsworth and Steve Sales.
What are you doing here? Thinking about turning our house into a nuclear power plant?
On KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
It's the movie show. Andy Farnsworth and Steve Sales, and we want to talk about the last theatrical movie of the week before we get into our big streaming is Love Lies Bleeding.
What is this place? You're looking pretty good in there. There's some pretty serious lines going. Why don't you want me working for your dad? Oh, he's a psycho.
This was one of two Kristen Stewart movies that debuted at Sundance 2024.
Yeah.
This one tells the story of a girl at a gym in New Mexico who was New Mexico, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
And she works at the gym. A girl comes in, kind of drifting from out of town, and starts working out at the gym. They fall for each other. One wants to become a professional bodybuilder. The girl that comes into town, Katie O'Brien, I think, is the actress who plays. She's signed with a talent agency after Sundance because they think this is going to be for. But there's lots going on. Kristen Stewart's got some family issues and
daddy issues.
This was just a super violent. It was billed as a lesbian love story, and it sure is that.
Yeah.
But really, kind of a hyper violent, kind of a crime thriller.
Yeah, I thought that Tarantino and David Lynch would have been like, man, I wish I'd have made that movie.
It did. I haven't seen a lot of David Lynch movies, but it did feel like a Tarantino now that you say that.
Yeah.
I will say it did have the jump scare of jump scares. I haven't jumped in a theater like one scene in that movie, mostly because I wasn't thinking there would be a jump scare there, and it was.
Well, you know what? I
jumped.
There are some serious, difficult scenes to watch in this movie, but I thought Kristen Stewart trying to, wrangle this whole thing and keep her girlfriend calm down, and she's like the in between the whole.
Oh, and they're doing this is set in the 80s, I want to say.
Yeah. Okay.
And
I can't remember.
Yeah, it was definitely set in the 80s. I'd have to go back and look, but this was not a movie for me. For me, this one, as far as how I felt leaving it, I do agree. Kristen Stewart did a good job, but she does really good in everything she does.
Yeah.
But for me, this was like a D, as far as I'm concerned.
Well,
I did not like it.
It is definitely edgy, but I would give it probably a B-.
There was one funny part. No, the funny part was my nickname for it, but at any rate, I don't want to give away a plot twist at the end for anybody who might actually want to see it. So that is Love Lies Bleeding. It's
you
rated
won't
R.
believe that's Ed Harris playing, looked like Riff Raff. So.
He's got no hair on top, but a whole bunch down the back.
Yep, all party in the back.
All right, let's get into our big streaming reviews.
Planning a weekend on the couch? Streaming your favorite movie or a new show? Andy and Steve sort through it all so you only binge the best. It's The Movie Show Streaming Reviews on KSL News Radio.
As far as I'm concerned, the big streaming review of the week is Manhunt on Apple TV+.
I was born with a chance to be somebody. I'm gonna be the most famous man in the whole world.
The Union is saved. The war is over.
Freedom for the soul!
So this is it's a limited series. We're going to get one season of this, but that's because it's a story that has a beginning and an end.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's one of the most infamous events in American history, yet I would bet most people don't actually know anything about it other than it happened. And that's the assassination of Abraham Lincoln by John Wilkes Booth.
Sure, we know, the Ford Theater and, shot in the balcony and all that. But the detail, I mean, like the morning after, he's been killed, and the procession, he's got an old pine box. I mean, the details are
it's like
just
a crate.
Yeah.
When they're bringing him out of the house where he died.
Right. This is the President of the United States. And they just, we couldn't find anything. And here it is. And it's raining. And I guarantee you that all those details actually feel like they happened in real life. That's how they sold it to me. I was watching this in every detail, like Parker, who was supposed to be watching the president in the booth. He was across the street having a beer.
Yeah. Did he have a beer with John Wilkes Booth? I don't know.
Yeah.
There are probably some historical things that I would like to look up to see, but he doesn't know that what John Wilkes Booth is planning.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't need to guard the president. Once he's seated, he's good.
Yeah.
And John Wilkes Booth is like, really?
Yeah, that helps me quite a bit.
But then, I saw some chatter online that people think it's kind of glorifying Booth, and I don't think it is.
Oh, no.
I think what it was doing, and this is part of what fascinated me watching it, was it kind of like, okay, what was the thought process? How does somebody get to that? And what was John Wilkes Booth thinking? Because remember, it took him over a week to catch him.
Yeah.
What would John Wilkes Booth be thinking over that week after he's done what he's done? And I don't think people understand. I certainly didn't, and I'm not a history major, but, he was well known.
Yeah, he was a famous actor.
He was well known, as you could be, in an age without television.
It was funny because, I didn't realize that everybody knew who he was. So the moment they go, well, it was obviously John Wilkes Booth that shot him because he's a famous actor and he jumped on the stage. We all saw it.
Yeah, they did. That's part of the reason they didn't even think he really shot him. Was this part of the play?
Yeah.
Because here's an actor who works at this theater.
I'll tell you who.
My picture's not up there. He asks the owner at one point.
Yeah, that's true. The one that really moved me, though, was the Secretary of War, Stanton.
Tobias Menzies
plays the character.
Yeah.
And he's kind of in charge of all of trying to figure out what happened and how they're going to go about capturing Booth and who's involved, all the different people that were part of the conspiracy. It's so far, I've seen like 3 or 4 episodes. It's brilliant.
Yeah, and this is 2 episodes available now. They'll drop episodes weekly, so we cheat. Steve and I. Look, you know it's good when Steve and I cheat and watch ahead because we're like, okay, I'm glad I don't have to wait.
Yeah, because we have a ton of other stuff that we need to see. And so if we're going to spend time going 3 or 4 deep, it's definitely worth seeing.
Yeah. So Manhunt, for me, I give it an A- so far, and I haven't seen all of it, but they'd have to fall off a cliff to drop it much below that.
Yeah, I think I could agree with that.
All right. Let's talk about Apples Never Fall.
You can spend a lifetime with someone as a wife or as a mother, but you can never really know who they are.
Now, this is based on a best-selling novel about a couple who run a tennis academy. I don't know if it's based on a true story, but I know it's based on a book.
The Delaney's or whatever.
Yeah, so it's Annette Bening and Sam Neill, are a couple. Their kids, Jake Lacey, Allison Brie, and a newcomer whose name I didn't recognize. All grown kids. They ran a tennis academy. They retired, and then, it's almost hard to talk about this because you need to watch it because the way that they tell the story and they're piecing stuff together, I almost don't want to give away much of the story more than that. I had a good time not knowing what this was about at all and just watching it cold.
Well, we do know that the mom character disappears. So it's all a mystery about what happened to Mom. She's been gone 4 or 5 days. She normally calls
the kids
us
knew
back.
after one day because Mom usually calls them like 50 times ever since she retired.
Exactly. And then they find her bike. And so it's sort of peeling the onion on this. And I like these kind of shows because you don't really know, well, wait a minute. And then they got a stranger that's staying with them, Savannah. What's her deal?
Yeah, exactly.
And so, yeah, I'm intrigued.
So that's Apples Never Fall. I've watched the first 2 episodes.
So have
and
I.
I think they dropped them all. I think. But maybe they didn't. Maybe this is one that's a weekly release too. I know they dropped the first 2 because that's why I stopped with 2. So that is called Apples Never Fall. Both of those shows, by the way, Manhunt, Apples Never Fall, are rated for mature audiences. We've got more streaming to come on the movie show when we get back. But right now we want to talk with our friends at My Hearing Centers and Matt Deering. We've talked about the Charge and Go IX. We've talked about what are some of the symptoms that you might notice that you're starting to have hearing issues. But we just had one of our KSL friends here do one of the hearing tests. Do we have a headset for Paulette? Because I kind of want to know, what was your experience like? You just did the hearing test, Paulette, and now all these very nice people are offering a headset for you.
Yeah, way to put her on the spot there.
Well, sorry, I thought I had mentioned. But anyway, so you just did the hearing test.
Yes.
Easy, hard? What did they do?
Very easy. Very easy. And I had a lot when I was young, and they were tedious and difficult and long. This was so simple. And I'm surprised the diagnosis. I feel like what they found made a lot of sense. And it's not the hearing loss that you get when you get old. Just so everyone knows.
Because she's not old. Let's be very clear here.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
But they were able to diagnose something and then talk to you about it.
Yeah, it's a low-frequency conductive hearing loss. And so I just don't hear low frequencies very well. But the rest of my hearing is good. But I'm going to try a hearing aid and see if it improves things.
And Matt, you were interesting. You said when she told you that, you said, okay, now this one's not going to be good for the one that they just told you about, but this one is going to be ideal.
Yeah, just based on her hearing loss, yeah. Because typically, again, what we mostly see is high-frequency hearing losses, and you treat 80, 90% of the people you see with high-frequency hearing loss. So Paulette's unique.
Very.
We knew that.
Which is awesome, and we're going to find a solution that works for her that's going to be a little bit different than what we use for the majority of our patients.
And how long did it take, Paulette?
About, I would say, 35, 40 minutes.
So not that long.
No, not that long.
No, and Isaac's quick. He does a great job. And if Paulette brought her husband in, maybe we would take a little bit longer with a couple of their tests. We just kind of were doing this one on the fly.
Yeah, we did it on the fly. This is true. This is true because I was told it an hour and a half maybe. But yeah, it was just super easy. The whole experience was great.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Paulette.
I recommend it.
Well, so Matt, let's talk about how do people pay for this, because is a hearing aid expensive?
You know, we're in the process of treating hearing loss.
Ah, interesting.
Right?
Okay.
And achieving better hearing and better lifestyles. And so the hearing aids, if we just sold you a hearing aid, it would be kind of like selling you a shovel. Here's a shovel. You figure out what to do with it.
That's a good point.
We don't do that. We do hearing healthcare, and the hearing aid is the tool that we use. So are hearing aids expensive? Yeah, they're expensive. The treatment that goes along with the hearing aids, coupled with the hearing aids, is that expensive? I don't think so. I think what you're getting, especially with the lifestyle change, the improvement in your health, the improvement in your communications, the comfort that comes from it, the improved mental stability that happens with all that.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is you've talked about how sometimes you have people, and when they come back, they're just amazed at how much they didn't realize they were missing, and you say it's life changing.
That's right. And so with all that into consideration, no, I don't think it's that expensive. But you know, some people have a benefit with their insurance, and we'll check your insurance. If there's a benefit, we'll maximize it. If there's not, we have other programs as well that we can help you out with. We do financing on approved credit, 0%. So whatever the situation is, whatever your lifestyle is, we're going to make sure we find the solution that's going to work best for you.
And the good thing, too, is for 30 days, you don't have to worry about that at all.
That's right. For the first 30 days, it's risk-free. You're just again, it's really just an extended test upon the 40 minutes that Paulette spent. Because you're not just now testing what you're hearing. Now you're testing, right? We did the test. Now you're testing. Does this solution work in my environments? Does this provide me with the amplification, appropriate amplification that I need in the things that I do in my life? And if it does, you're going to be super happy. We're going to send you on your way. You're going to get some movie tickets, and we're going to see you every 3 to 4 months to make sure they work for you for the life of the hearing aid. If it doesn't, guess what? You return them. You get movie tickets.
Yeah, you can't lose.
That's right.
So call this number, 801-701-6900. 1629. If somebody came to your mind, if it's you or someone you love that came to your mind, like, boy, it'd be nice to get them a free hearing test, call this number, 801-701-1629 at My Hearing Centers, and make that appointment.
Are you using the KSL News Radio app to listen to your favorite shows whenever you want? You can podcast Utah's morning news, even after it's finished at 9. You can listen to David Najanovic or Boyd Matheson. Just click on the podcast tab. And you can stream Jeff Kaplan live between 3 and 7 right from the player. All of those shows, plus the KSL Greenhouse and Cougar Sports Saturday, they're on the app for KSL News Radio. KSL News Radio.
Hi, this is Doug Wright with yet another great experiment you can try right there at home. I want you to take 4 bags of water softener salt. Lift 3 of the bags with one hand, good luck on that, and 1 bag with your other hand. Now, if you're like most people, you'll probably find that 3 bags of salt weigh about 3 times as much as 1 bag of salt. And that's an important thing to keep in mind when you're shopping for a water softener. You see, Connecticut of Utah, an authorized Connecticut dealer, their water softeners are so well designed, they use only 1 bag of salt for every 3 that other water softeners use. Now, I can't speak for you, but I'm not a fan of lower back pain, and as our little experiment has hopefully demonstrated, carrying that 1 bag of salt, it's a lot easier on your back than carrying 3. That's just one of the many reasons you should look into water softeners from Connecticut of Utah, an authorized Connecticut dealer. To learn more, call Connecticut of Utah, 801-576-8600, or go to softwaterutah.com.
Hi there, it's Congressman Blake Moore. My team and I are working hard to advance your priorities in Congress, from addressing federal budget reform on the House Budget Committee to pushing a bipartisan pro-family tax package on the House Ways and Means Committee. We've also enjoyed engaging with you at our recent in-person town halls and staff mobile office hours as we hear your questions, priorities, and concerns. I want to update you all on the things that we are working on and to take your questions. So be sure to join my telephone town hall on Wednesday, March 20th at 1 p.m. by dialing 833-305-1678. That's Wednesday, March 20th at 1 p.m. at 833-305-1678. Visit my website at blakemore.house.gov and follow me on social media at Rep. Blake Moore for details. I look forward to hearing from you then. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
Hi, I'm Jay Broadbent with Alpine Home Medical. This is a story that came to us from a real customer, and I wanted to share it with you.
I'm a new CPAP user. The only thing I knew about CPAP when I walked in the door was that they are funny looking and I didn't want to wear one. The introductory class with the respiratory therapist at Alpine was great. I left feeling confident and less intimidated by the whole process.
We know when you walk through our doors, you deserve to be cared for. We really do have the best staff in the state. Discover the Alpine Home Medical difference. When you need assistance, we're here for you. You should know we accept most major insurances, so stop by any of our 11 locations today and explore our high-quality inventory. We love hearing about your experiences. Visit us online at alpinehomemedical.com.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
For a limited time, open a 12-month certificate from Cyprus Credit Union and get 5.25% APY. Learn more at any branch or visit cypruscu.com.
The Movie Show.
It is not a donut hole, but a smaller donut with its own hole. And our donut is not a hole at all.
On KSL News Radio.
Steve, we asked our listeners' favorite Mark Wahlberg movie, and we just got 3 votes in one text for The Italian Job. You can count me, my wife, and business partner.
Nice.
A lot of votes for Invincible also. But, Steve, we got more streaming reviews to get to. Let's talk about The Bloody 100th.
In staggering numbers in air combat. One of these groups suffered so many casualties, it became known as the Bloody 100.
Boy, I'll tell you, the B-17 was the flying fortress. These kids, you know, after we got attacked at Pearl Harbor, they just joined. I mean, doctors, lawyers, everybody. And yet they were trained for just a couple of weeks. They go over there, and they had never even been in a B-17, and they're flying these things.
Wow.
Out of the first 140 airmen that joined the 100th Division, 3 of the originals were left.
Well, no wonder they called it the Bloody 100 thing,
Yeah,
because
so-
you weren't guaranteed to survive.
Well, the
Hardly
Luftwaffe,
anybody did.
their
Cut 'em to
pilots
ribbons.
and the speed, they were just slaughtering. It wasn't until the P-51 Mustangs showed up. They had more speed. They could go more distance, and they were bombing clear into deep into Germany. And so the fighters, the old fighters, they couldn't stay with them, and that's why they got so just slaughtered. And so
because the fighters are supposed to provide the protection for the bombers,
Right.
and the old fighters for the U.S. couldn't
they had
provide the
enough
protection
gas to
because
only
the B-17s or the
B-17s, yeah,
were outpacing them, so then they
yeah.
didn't have any protection when they got to the German fighters.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's why they were getting creamed. And when the P-51s came out, so this all came up before D-Day, and the idea was that we have to take out the Luftwaffe. We cannot have them have air superiority, and try to launch this D-Day invasion, and that was crucial. So it's a brilliant.
And it's one episode. It's a movie,
it's
basically.
an hour. You heard Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg narrate this.
Oh, okay.
And you'll meet some of the guys that are actually in Masters in the Air, and the final episode airs to this weekend.
Okay. So this is a companion piece to Masters of the Air.
I would
this
say
is
watch
the
it.
actual documentary.
I would say watch it first and then watch Masters
the
in the Air.
series. Okay. And that is on Apple TV Plus. Now, we also have, we're not going to have time for sound, Corey, Turning Point, The Bomb in the Cold War. This is a documentary about Russia and the Cold War and the nuclear bomb. And I've watched 2 of the episodes. They're about an hour and 15 minutes each episode, so it's a time commitment. But it's so interesting, and it filled me in on so many things that I didn't personally know. I felt like episode 1 was a great companion to Oppenheimer. It gives you more of a thing that Oppenheimer didn't necessarily have time to focus on.
Plus, I saw footage that I've never seen before in any documentary. So Turning Point is brilliant. What do we look at?
That's
Where
on
is that?
Netflix.
Netflix. Okay.
And then we have Frida on Prime Video. I think we do have, if we have a clip from that. Oh, it's 90% in Spanish, so let's see.
Me pinto a mí misma porque soy lo que mejor conozco.
Okay. And I believe she said, I paint because I must. Actually, I don't think that's what she said, but she said it a lot in the movie. Did you get a chance to watch this
No,
one?
I did not.
Okay, so it's about Frida Kahlo, the Mexican painter. She lived in the early 1900s. I didn't know really anything about her other than Salma Hayek had played her in a movie a few
I
years
saw
ago.
that movie, yes. And she's great.
But this was, what was good about this Prime Video version of Frida is they take her art and they kind of animate it a little bit. And I've seen this done before, but they can break the painting down into the different layers of things, and then they can add the layers in animation style as if she's painting it on. Really cool, but it tells her life story, and you realize just how much of her actual life. She's like, I paint what I know, and how much of her actual life was in these. She was famous for being a surrealist, and I learned a lot of things about her, and I actually found it to be quite interesting, and I'm more interested now in her art, and now when I look at it, I can see it gave me context for her art. So
and plus, physically challenged. I mean, she
was in a bus crash with a trolley that impaled her.
Yeah.
And so when you see paintings of her doing all these different, her body is broken here, and you start to see that's what
where that comes from.
Yeah, she loved her body and she hated her body. I mean, that's what I got from it. She loved that it brought her pleasure, and she hated how much pain it caused her.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's Frida, and that is on Prime Video. It is rated R, but it is streaming. Okay. When we get back on the movie show, we will do telephone torture, so get ready because it's Steve's surprise.
Oh, yeah.
But right now we're live at the My Hearing Centers with Matt Deering. Matt, the Signia Charge and Go IX, one of the cool things about hearing aids, I've said this since I joined the movie show, but until I had come in here and seen these for myself, when I thought of hearing aids, I'm about to turn 50 here in another year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I made it this far alive.
That's pretty good.
But for me, hearing aids was the big tan-colored thing that went behind your ear that filled up your eardrum and that you could hear if you twisted the little dial on it. That's what hearing aids were to me until I came in here and saw what things have evolved into.
Yeah, and before I joined My Hearing Centers, that's what a hearing aid was to me, too. My grandpa has had hearing aids since I can remember. He's now passed. Had hearing aids since I can remember. And it was actually kind of endearing. Whenever I give Grandpa a hug as a little kid, get kind of close to that ear, and it squeals. Get that little
if anything
feedback
got
sound.
close to it.
Yeah, give that little squealing feedback. And so for me, I was like, oh, that's hearing aids, and that's fun, and that's for people
And
that
I
are
hope I
aging,
never have one.
And I'm never going to do that, right? And no, and I didn't realize that it was not just squealing outside; it's squealing in his ear too. So it was really uncomfortable for him when that squealing happened. And so
he stopped hugging you?
No, he never stopped hugging us.
Oh.
He's a sweet man. But the reality now is that the hearing aid technology comes so far that it's doing things that you wouldn't even think that it needed to do. Like first time you put on headphones, right? You can hear your voice, right? And it takes a little while to get used to it. Same thing would happen. First time we put people's hearing aids in, it's magnifying everything, so it's magnifying their voice. And they kind of we had to say, okay, well, it's going to take a couple months, but you're going to get used to it. It's going to be okay. Well, now we put the hearing aids on. We program the hearing aids to recognize your voice, so it never amplifies your voice. And when you talk, you don't realize that you're wearing hearing aids because it's not re-amplifying. Little things like that they fixed, the little new nuisances, right?
Yeah. And they made them smaller, and they've made them less intrusive. They made them basically invisible.
Yeah, all of those things. And we can't say they're invisible because they're not, but once they get into your ears, they're virtually invisible once you're wearing them. And all of that is hard to explain over the radio. This is why we invite people to come in. Schedule a free hearing evaluation. Mostly importantly, why we do that for free is because, one, we know that there's not a lot of people, again, like myself, that grew up around hearing aids, excited to get hearing aids now.
Right.
And then number two is we want to know that you want to work with us, and so come and meet us, spend some time with us, see if you like us, and then try the hearing aids risk-free for 30 days.
So make that appointment. Here's the number to call: 801-701-1629. Everyone that completes the 30-day risk-free trial eligible to get a set of movie tickets.
Yes.
So that's free regardless. The hearing evaluation is free,
Yep.
and the evaluation period is free. So call 801-701-1629.
It's 12:31 at KSL News Radio. I'm Dan Bomas. KSL's top story this hour: the bones of a man who went missing in 2021 have been found in Grand County. Sheriff's Office was told about the bones in the Book Cliffs area in the northeastern part of the county. The state's medical examiner's office was able to identify them. They were the remains of Timothy Boone, who disappeared after taking his dog to the San Rafael Swell almost 3 years ago. They say no foul play is suspected in that disappearance. The Utah Jazz have opened 6 new mothers' rooms at the Delta Center. According to KSL Sports, each room has upgraded seats, TVs, sinks, mirrors, and products from Cozy Earth, the company who is the partner in the rooms. You can find the rooms on the main concourse of the Delta Center. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. Marriage is bouncing back now after trending down during the pandemic. Derek Dennis has the latest government numbers.
There were 2,065,000 marriages in the U.S. in 2022, bouncing back to about the same number seen in 2019 before coronavirus lockdowns and social distancing rules took effect. States with the biggest marriage numbers: New York, Montana, and Hawaii, as well as Washington, D.C., while Nevada, with its Las Vegas chapel weddings, tops them all. Derek Dennis, ABC News.
And your money at this moment: the Dow Jones average down on the day, 191 points. NASDAQ down 141. Our KSL weather: the wind hasn't quite stopped yet. That's next. KSL News Time, 12:30.
Spend your workday with a talk show that makes you feel better about the news.
Dave and Dujanovic.
They have a good dynamic between the two of them.
Sometimes I'll take Dave's side and sometimes I'll take Debbie's side.
They're great.
Dave and Debbie, live from 9 to noon, or podcast the show on the app for KSL News Radio.
I just elevated my checking account with Utah Community Credit Union. Tim, I'm so blown away at what I get with my elevated checking account at UCCU. I get so many benefits. I get cell phone protection and roadside assistance. The one that blows me away the most is telehealth. I actually get zero copay telehealth with my checking account from UCCU.
Did you know you also get a 0.25% loan discount? It's one of the many things. And if you like to travel or you're on the road quite a bit, a free ATM nationwide. 30,000 ATM locations that you can use while you're out.
Utah basketball star Walker Kessler and Utah Community Credit Union have come together to announce this brand new elevated checking account with more benefits, more savings, more online protections than ever before.
Yeah, there's even something for dark web monitoring, which I have never heard of before, but you can find out more by just going to uccu.com.
And open an elevated checking account online or stop by any branch.
UCCU, you're going to love where you bank.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
There are products that offer up to a 20% upfront bonus just for opening an account and up to 12% per year for retirement income. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and I've heard from other advisors saying this is too good to be true. No, it's not. We are one of the few who can offer products like these because we're independent. We're not registered with a broker-dealer who tells us what we have to sell, and we don't have to answer to a board of directors who prioritize shareholders over clients. So, is an upfront bonus up to 20% and 12% per year growth for income too good to be true? For most advisors, yes, but not Trajan Wealth. The fact that many of our clients come from other financial advisors is a testament to our value. Experience the Trajan Wealth difference for yourself. Call 801-899-7600. That's 801-899-7600.
Guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Here's Ricky Meese.
Well, crews are now blocking a right lane of travel, backing traffic in Sandy due to an accident. It's after 106 South, but before 90th South, and that's where you'll see your freeway delays. A couple of surface street crashes, one 126 South near 4500 West, and another one at 7800 South, 1300 West. Need a perfect event venue? There's a place. This is the place, Heritage Park. Ideal for weddings, events, featuring 11 venues, beautiful grounds, affordability for any celebration. Call or visit thisistheplace.org. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
And our KSL weather. Strong winds continue today and tomorrow along the northern Wasatch Front. Not, though, at the same level as last night. Otherwise, dry weather in northern Utah. In the south, additional rain and snow. And right now, 48 degrees and sunny in Salt Lake. I'm Dan Bomas from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The KSL Movie Show. Telephone torture.
And it's time for telephone torture. We've tweaked telephone torture just a little bit to torture you and us just a tiny bit less in one way. We're still going to torture you who want to win the prize from our friends at the Larry H. Miller Megaplex Theaters. What we're going to do is Steve has a movie. Its a theme is a pet movie, since we were talking about Arthur the King today with its star dog. So Steve has picked a movie that has a pet in it, or a key feature pet, or what is it?
An animal.
It's an animal. Okay. So it's an animal movie, I guess. And he's going to ask 3 questions. And here's the number, 801-575-8255. We're going to take 3 callers. You don't have to call in yet if you want. We're going to read the clues out over the air so everyone has a chance at them.
Okay.
But we will take 3 callers until we get either a correct answer or 3 wrong answers.
And
However,
I bet they
if you're
get it
not-
on the first one.
And they might. But if you can't call in, we understand. We want to give you at least an outside chance. If you know the answer, text us the answer at 57500. But just know that if somebody calls in with the correct answer, no one will win on the text line.
Okay.
Let's make that clear up front. So,
Gotcha.
Telephone torture, sponsored by Megaplex. Steve, what is the first clue?
This story is about an Army Ranger who's assigned to escort a military dog to the funeral of a fallen friend.
I already know it.
I think most will know this. I tried to make this easy.
All right, so do we have any callers yet? We've got one. Hey, we've got one who wants to try their luck with one clue on telephone torture. Who's this?
This is Doak.
Doak? What do you think the answer is?
I didn't hear the question.
The heck?
All right.
All right, Doak. And you've called before. I remember that name. This is a story about an Army Ranger who's assigned to escort a military dog to the funeral of a fallen friend.
What is your guess? If it's the one I think it is, you're going to kick yourself.
Yes.
Oh, jeez. I have no clue. I'm sorry.
All right. Is that correct, Corey? All right, Joe. Good luck. Thanks for calling. All right, Steve, give us your second clue.
Okay, in one scene, the ranger pretends to be a blind veteran with his seeing eye dog. They're trying to con their way into a fancy San Francisco hotel room.
This is the movie, and I liked this movie a lot. And we've already got some correct answers coming in on I believe, because I don't know for sure.
Well, I think you do.
Do we have anyone on the line who wants to give it a shot? 801-575-8255. Do we have somebody on the line?
I am here.
Okay, who's this?
This is Adam.
Adam?
Yes.
Okay, Adam, what do you think the answer is?
I think the answer is dog.
Is that correct, Corey? Adam, congratulations. Did you see it?
I did. It was amazing.
It really was. It was emotional. It was funny. It was really, really well done. Channing Tatum. And what was the dog's name in it?
Lulu.
Lulu. It was a German Shepherd, right?
No, it was a Belgian Malinois.
Belgian Malinois. That is correct.
And I want one of those dogs. It's my next one.
That's the same dog that Halle Berry had in the John Wick, where they would fly through the air and bite people in their happy zone.
Yep.
Well, congratulations, Adam. Stay on the line. You have won a prize package from the Megaplex Theaters, which consists of
2 tickets, two dranks, as somebody said.
Yeah, somebody wants us to say dranks.
That's Doug's thing, but okay, I'll give you that one. 2 dranks and a tub of popcorn.
And what do you want to see?
Have
you seen Dune Part 2 yet?
Dune 2, yeah, that's the one we're waiting for. We haven't
Awesome.
seen it yet.
Okay, use these on the IMAX because I do believe they're good for any movie.
That's true.
Okay, thank you guys
awesome.
so much.
Well, congratulations, Adam. Stay on the line, and you have won telephone torture.
You know what? The third
all these
clue,
poor
by the
people
way,
on the text line, they're tortured because they answered
They got
correctly.
it, didn't they? Yeah. This film was inspired by him taking a road trip with his own dog named Lulu, who had been diagnosed with
Director
cancer.
or Channing Tatum?
Channing.
Did Channing direct this?
He co-directed it.
Co-directed it. Okay. Well, yes, it was really well. It was last year, wasn't it?
2022.
2022. So that's one that's worth looking up too. The movie Dog, starring Channing Tatum. All right, Steve. Before we go to break, we have enough time to talk about Snack Shack.
Oh boy.
Do we have any audio? I don't think we did because I think we told Gustavo not to get it. All right. Oh, no worries.
You can ask if they need an extra hand.
With what?
That thing. Snack Shack. I think they bid it out at the city council meeting.
You bid $2,000 on the Snack Shack at the swimming pool.
Actually, we bid 3. Oh, man. This place is wrecked. Let's get to work.
Okay, so this tells the story of 2 teenage boys about 15 years old in the summer of 1991 in Nebraska City, Nebraska. They are 2 of the most enterprising young men that I've ever seen. They've got all kinds of business ideas, best friends for life. Well, they decide they're going to outbid the local bullies to run the Snack Shack at the local pool because they feel like they could really turn some cash this year.
By the way, that is the exact pool that this story is based on.
They shot it at the pool?
Yeah.
Ah, see, I did not know that.
Yeah, in Nebraska City.
So they bid. The clip you heard is they're at the council meeting, and they tried to feel out the other guys who were going to bid on it. And so they come up with $3,001 because they believed the other bid was going to be $3,000, and then they found out the other bid was like $250.
$300.
So they overpaid by a couple thousand, but that just motivates them more because now they've got to turn the profit.
So
even
it sounds
faster.
funny.
Yes, and it's a comedy, but it's like a coming of age. However, lots of caveats for our audience in particular. This is rated R for so much language. Now, I was 15 in 1991 in the summer.
Yeah, but
Granted, I grew up
you're a
in
good
Utah.
boy, though.
I did, but I have never heard kids swear as much as these kids did. So
I don't
just
know why
that.
I'm laughing, but that's...
and that's what it's rated R for that. is language. But as far as like, it's got kind of a fun coming of age, and of course the boys end up fighting over a girl.
Isn't she the lifeguard?
She is, and but at any rate, it's got all the marks of a coming of age. But it's a decent effort. It's just the language. It's blue. It is a blue language, and teenage smoking. There's a whole bunch of it. These kids rip through cigarettes like you wouldn't believe. So
I was
those are the only
surprised when
warnings.
you told me, I want to see Snack Shack. Okay.
Well, I was hoping it would be funny. It has kind of a Caddyshack vibe with a little bit, but they're a little younger. I don't know. Anyway, that's Snack Shack. It is rated R, and it is playing at multiple theaters, both Cinemark and Megaplex. So that's one you can look up. Well, when we get back, we will do rapid fire, recap everything. Plus, I think there's something else we haven't had a chance to mention yet, but we'll do all of that in our final segment of the movie show. Right now, though, we want to check in one last time with our friends at My Hearing Centers. Matt, you were taking the first 50 callers today. We'd have a chance to win a pair of the Signia Charge and Go IX hearing aids. Have we hit our 50 limit, or is there still time?
I'm going to be honest, I haven't even looked.
So that's how confident.
So we're going to say Matt's going to be generous, and we're going to say if we've hit 50, he'll take 51 and 52.
That's what I was going to say. It's because of my negligence. I will go ahead and extend that. If you call and you schedule before the top of the hour, we'll make sure you're in that drawing.
Okay. And why would you want to win the Signia Charge and Go IX hearing aids? Well, they're the latest and the greatest.
They are, and you're going to want to have a hearing loss to win them. Otherwise, they're not very useful for you. So, the first thing we're going to want to do is come in.
There's better ways to get Bluetooth to your phone. If you don't have hearing loss.
In all reality, they're actually pretty cool. If they would be the coolest Bluetooth device. If that's all you're using them for, they would be. Because the sound quality is amazing. We've got 3 speakers inside that receiver, so you got your bass, treble, and your mids, and so it is actually pretty amazing because I've used them for just streaming other things before. But
the Charge and Go Silk. It really looks like a spy piece.
It is
like a little spy contraption.
So it would be kind of cool. But clinically, we have to make sure you have a hearing loss in order to hand them out to you. They are a medical device. So schedule your free hearing evaluation. At the end of the evaluation, if you qualify, then we'll be able to let you try the hearing aids risk-free for 30 days. At the end of the 30 days, we'll get you a gift card to – not a gift. Yeah, well, a gift card to get some movie tickets. Yep.
So 801-701-1629 is the number to call. Here's what you get when you call. You get a free hearing test. You get a free hearing evaluation after the test, because what good is getting a test if there's not somebody there to help you understand what the test means?
Yes.
Then you get a chance to try out these amazing Charge and Go if you need them. Because, of course, if you don't have any hearing issues, Matt, what are you going to tell them?
We're going to tell them you don't have any hearing issues.
I like that.
What? If they say what after that, we know we did something wrong.
and we may put you back in the booth.
We'll check our equipment and try again. Yes.
But then you have 30 days to try these things out. And if you do have hearing loss, which is why you go home with the hearing aids, what are you going to think at the end of those 30 days?
The goal is that you're going to recognize the improvement in your life that you've had over the last 30 days. Some people wait so long that we're not going to get them back to 100% in 30 days. It's going to take some long time. The longer you wait, the harder it is to get that speech understanding back, because we're retraining your brain. Sometimes you wait so long that you've got down to having only maybe 20% of your understanding. Getting back to 100% is probably not going to happen. If you're earlier, after 30 days, you're going to have a noticeable change. Either way, you're going to see a noticeable change, and hopefully you keep the hearing aids for the rest of your life.
Well, yeah, and once your life changes, why would you want to give them back?
Exactly.
And you don't. Well, I when I was younger, I used to you got one pair of contacts when I first got contacts. This is how long ago it was. And when one of them got ruined or I didn't take care of it, then I just had one.
One-eyed
Willie. Let me tell you though, but going back, once you've fixed something, going back is the worst.
It really is, and that's not going to happen, because additionally, as you progress in life, your hearing will probably get a little bit worse. There's enough fitting depth in these hearing aids, meaning that as your hearing loss progresses, we can actually adjust the hearing aid without you having to get a new hearing aid. Unlike contacts, right? If your eyesight gets worse, you got to get new contacts.
That's true.
Here, if your hearing gets a little worse, we just make an adjustment in the hearing aid. You continue to use the same hearing aids you're using, benefit from them. You don't have to get a new set of hearing aids every time your hearing loss changes.
I have a texture that says, I just got hearing aids less than 2 years ago.
Okay.
What should I do?
If they're not working great for you, come and see us. We'll work with you. If you're happy with them, you should keep wearing them. But if you're unhappy, come see us. We'll see if we can get the hearing aids that you have working better for